spent my whole first year for the most part on the sideline like this. This is my pose. The 5-star status, all that does not matter. Doesn't matter how. To me, I learned how important it is to get in the playbook. Not necessarily to just change my game, but to expand what I started to care about. Like the things I started to take care of off the field that I guess related that was going to show up on the field.
What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here. This is a tremendously special young man that I'm about to speak with. Currently plays for the Arizona Cardinals. Offensive lineman, Mr. Paris Johnson out of the Ohio State University. I know him well, all too well, from seeing him play for Ohio State. Anyway, we're going to talk to him about his life journeys, how he got involved with football, things that he's doing with his life, and, well, how he views being successful. You're going to get to hear that and a little bit more in 3, 2, 1. It's time for Good in the Game. Got my man Paris Johnson with me. Bruh, first and foremost, happy to have you on the show. Happy to get some time to talk with you and chop it up with you about your life's journey and how football's impacted you. Let's talk about it. So you're a big fella, man, and you're a protector, and those are the things that you do. I gotta assume you've always been a big fella, and I gotta assume that somebody was like, "Sir, you need to get on this football field, and you need to do something." How did you get introduced to the game of football?
Yeah, so my dad played in the league for 5 years.
Okay.
So as a kid, it was once I found out that was something I could do forever. I knew at the age of 5 that I wanted to play football, so I played ball. I was on the 8-year-old team, but when I was 5, I was the youngest, but I was just as big as everybody else. But since then, I knew that football was going to be my way.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. All right, so football became the way. You continue to dominate. You get the opportunity to continue on. What has your connection with the National Football Foundation been, and what has that represented to you in that football journey so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think just being able to develop a relationship with people that allow the game to continue to grow, that continue where the players who've been able to do it at a high level, but like are right before me, that be able to pave the way to where we're able to play the game at such a high a level, you know what I mean? Just be able to learn about all the greats that been able to come through. And I feel like it shows the right way, not only how to do it on the field, but also off the field, because it starts to align when you see the guys who have done it at a high level. So I think they do an amazing job being able to highlight those men and, what it takes to put your name up in that status,
You have put your name up in that status, and it a lot of people know you from high school when you were at Princeton. Others may know you from your career, and um, while you were at that while you was at Ohio State.
Come on now.
While you was at Ohio State. All right, I got it out. I got it out. What was that like though? Being an Ohio Stater, having the opportunity to have the biggest rivalry in all of football, just being an Ohio State Buckeye. I mean, what impact has that had on you in terms of how you view yourself, how you're viewing your career?
Yeah, I mean, I love my time there at Ohio State. When I was a kid, I wasn't a big fan of Ohio State coming up. My whole family, they're from Chicago. They're from Detroit. So I didn't really watch Ohio State a lot growing up. So to be able to come into that team and to be able to learn like what it means to take that on, and I think the pride that I got to earn while I was there during my time there, to take pride in what it means to represent the players before me, but also how large that team is in the state. I mean, I think it just started to shape the way that I see that how important it is to have a like for your team to um, like I guess in terms of like how important it is now when it comes like stuff like team bonding and the culture, stuff like that was huge. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I feel like a lot of the tools and stuff that I took from going to Ohio State, I'm still using today. So I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
time was very impactful.
You got any particular specific stories that you can think of? I always say, we give generalities like, the things I learned there, it's the things I exercise in my life today. Was there a hard moment? I mean, we all got our memories, and you know, but was there a moment while you were in school that you had to get through it, you had to persevere it, and it was a lesson learned, and maybe a lesson that you still apply, even being a pro at this point?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I feel like probably, I mean, just coming out of high school, I was a top guy in the state, top guy in my position in the country, top 10 overall. So I'm thinking I want to be the third guy in the history of Ohio State to start out the gate as a freshman. So that was a goal that I had, and obviously that was not what happened for me. I spent my whole first year for the most part on the sideline like this. This was my pose, holding it down, and I'm watching other guys that who played the same position as I, who were in the same high school class, who always they looked up to me like, man, like I already know the type of path you're going to be on, and I'm watching those guys at various other schools. They're already starting, they're already playing, they're starting to earn honors, and I feel like that was a hard part for me, but I feel like what it did was that it still like I still like approached each game as if I was gonna have the chance to get in the game, to make an impact, to take a spot. And I feel like the fight that it allowed me to have each day I came in the building, I feel like I had to re-earn everything. The 5-star
Mm-hmm.
status, all that does not matter. Doesn't matter how to me I learned how important it is to get in the playbook. At the high school level, I didn't really have to know everybody else had to do
Mm-hmm.
because I just knew I had to get my man and take my man out to play. At the college level, just because you're dominating your man, if you're not knowing what's going on with the X's and O's as a freshman, that they do not care how popular, how hyped up, how large you are, how
Mm-hmm.
athletic you are, change your direction. So I feel like it required me to not necessarily to just change my game, but to expand what I
Mm-hmm.
started to care about, like the things I started to take care of off the field that I guess related that was going to show up on the field. You know, in terms
Like what, Paris?
of
Like what?
I think
What did you start concentrating on off the field?
one I started to watch film. I had to watch zero film in high school because my mindset was whatever they did against that tackle, they're not going to do versus me. So I didn't really watch any high school tape. So first time I started watching tape when I was at Ohio State, and remember I used to sit with the seniors and be like, "Show me how you watch it, so you watch it with purpose." Like now, I
Mm-hmm.
love to watch film. I love and I look
Nice.
forward to it because I feel like when there's a plan and there's a purpose, it's fun to study
Mm-hmm.
guys. But
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have a plan, and you're turning it on. You're like, I might as well hop on the game right now. I might as well do something else. Like, what am I doing? If because
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to make it translate. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's stuff like that that allows you just to play so much, like to play faster and to make it more automatic, to make your game automatic, to go back to what you've been doing since you were a kid. Once you can, once that factor, slows down the game for you.
Definitely know what you're talking about. So your dad played ball. What was that relationship? What was that relationship like? He's probably my age. When did he go into the league?
He got drafted in the fifth round in '99
Yeah, yeah, he came
Cardinals.
out a year before me. Yeah, so I probably played against him, or he was on the team. I was on the team. What was that like? I got a son that's at Penn State right now. I got a son that graduated from and played at Delaware. What I feel like it's an interesting bond you have with your child when they play and do the same exact things that you did, play the same game you played. How was y'all's relationship, and how did that play a part in because everybody doesn't have the same stories, obviously, but some people, they're more similar than others. How did yours play out?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like to me, my dad, he wasn't in my life for long. I mean, he left. I mean, he left me and my mom and my sister around the age of like 8 or 9.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But while he was in the house, before he left, I would say he was like probably the foundation of what made me want to play the game. I
Mm.
feel like the longevity of why I continue to play the game is from my mom always supporting my dreams, and I feel like it's something that I feel like God allowed me to play this game at a high level because I'm trying to use the platform to talk about the things He's done in my life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I feel like
sure.
to use it as an opportunity to talk about how He's been able to help me and my family and
Hmm.
people around me. But Dad was a huge inspiration while he was around. Be able to hear his stories, like he grew up in Chicago. He was in a gang. Then he was homeless. He was on foster care. Then he went to junior college. Then he walked on to Miami, Ohio, um, to date my mom, and then he ended up getting a not roster spot, but scholarship 6 months later. Only maybe played like 11, 12 games, 2 years in the fifth round draft pick. So me hearing that as a kid, I'm like, okay, I'm growing up in Cincinnati. I'm in the suburbs. I'm in a
Hmm.
private school. I have the genes for my mom and dad. I'm like, as long as I stay on the right path off the field, I'm like, in my mind, at 5 years old, I'm like, I'm a first round pick. Boom, easy. That's
Hmm.
set. I guess so. My mindset, I was like, if he was able to do it with all those odds, and I was like, and all that stuff that he was into, that's not my circumstance.
Hmm.
And I'm not. I don't plan on spending my time being involved in anything like that. So I feel like I kind of took that roadmap that he used, and I kind of just went the opposite way because I'm
Hmm.
like, if I don't go the opposite way, I don't have the obstacles. How much further can I take the game? God was able to bless me with the hands, the foot speed, the height. 5 years old, you're not really starting to think about all that yet. I'm just thinking God did it for him, and then what can He do for me? Kind of mindset.
Where'd you get that mindset from? Because it's a very gracious mindset. It's a humble mindset. It's a very well grounded mindset. I'll add to that, Paris. Where did that come from?
I feel like that just came from my mom. I feel like just the daily just conversations and the affirmations that my mom had us up in the morning every morning with a sheet of paper, and we had to speak these affirmations over our life every day. And it's something I still do today. I do today before practice, before every game. I think it's important to speak that kind of life into yourself. And I feel like again the perspective that everything we have is something that comes from God, and it's like the story in the Bible about the father who gave his sons the talents, and um,
One
they both.
buried them, one used them.
Yes.
Come on, man. Come
Once
on,
I
man.
learned that, I feel like I think I take that into my life
Don't
as well,
bury your gift,
even
bro.
in practice, because who am I to step out there and to not to give my all? I feel like
Hmm.
that's me. That's me choosing to be to not show any respect to God at all.
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and in turn, like, what is that also going to translate to in terms of me being able to not fully achieve the blessings that are in store? You know what I mean? Because that's the free will
Hmm.
we have, whether to take advantage
Absolutely.
of that or not. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's just been my mindset my whole life.
How has that driven you in the league? Now you're making money, you're a first round draft pick. How does that impact you now? Because the circumstances change, and it's always, hey, you're not going to change, but in some ways, and maybe sometimes a lot of ways, you change. Once you go pro, things change. How have you taken those lessons, those foundational components? How have they followed you into where you're now in the professional level?
Yes, I mean, I think the awesome thing that has allowed me to not change, and I strive every year to make sure I continue to keep saying that and to look back and believe that I've been able to stay the right course, is just through trying to remember what the foundation of I think the covenant I have with God for Him to elevate me as long as I continue to shout His name each time I have a chance to. I feel like it's not about the money. It's not. I mean, although you compete for that, it's not about
Mhm.
the honors at the end of the season. Although you compete for that, so it's not like as soon as you reach all these things down the line, you're like, okay, I forgot why I really started doing it. I feel like as long as God continues to call me to be like, hey, I want you. like the way you play, the violence that you play with, the way you finish this guy that everyone's starting to be hype about, that's untouchable, and you start to shut him down, and people are like, how is he doing that? We haven't seen anything like that all season out of anybody. For me to be like, that's all God. Like, I train, I work, I do that, but that's all God. For me to be able to continue to use the platform for him, I feel like until he calls me to be like, you've done the thing that we've been talking about since you were 5 years old. I feel like you've done that well. You've started expanding kingdom more. Then I feel like then that's when things will be okay. Great, I've done that. But I feel like I try to challenge myself each year. Like, how can I do something even more? And I like to look at other players in the league that I feel like are doing an awesome job of that. And I'm like, how can I do that? Because offensive linemen don't get the same platform, quarterbacks, receivers, DNs, all that. You know what I mean? So how can I maximize um, the platform I have, and maybe the audience I have is a little more niche compared to everybody else's. Who's looking at me that might not be choosing really to look that deep into other position groups.
That's interesting. All right, so you're on a platform right now, and you're getting the opportunity to do that. Tell the audience, like, what makes people, why should people be interested in Paris Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, I would love. I mean, I think something that's kind of cool that I got told during. I mean, I got a text during the draft from somebody that I think was kind of cool. That, I mean, for me, I feel like my whole life since I was 5 years old, I've been the most dominant player on the football field. And I got a text. I got a text the night of the draft, and the text was basically saying like, "Man, it's so cool to see how far you came. I remember when you first started playing, you were 5 years old, and you were getting hit left, right, middle, helmet flying off. It was crazy. I don't remember any of that. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was saying
Uh-huh.
like seeing how you grew, and then I talked to my old a little league coach who now lives out here in Arizona. He was like, P, there'd be some games where it'd be like this. I'm like, really? I was killing them. He be like, nah,
Mhm.
some days, you're going, because they were older than you, they be flipping you on the field. I'm like, what? But I don't remember. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind
You're a
of,
winner. That's that winner mentality, dog.
I think it's kind of cool how, again, the one thing that I started to pray for is something that other people are starting to bring to me. I started to pray about it, but I don't realize it's going on until people start telling me on the back end. It's like I start to, before every game, I said, I want God. I mean, I want people in the stands on TV when they see me play, the violence, the execution, the motor. I want them to see that's God choosing to work through him,
Mm.
choosing to work through the offensive line, choosing to work through the franchise, from the staff to the people that are holding like the down markers. Like, that's something I pray for, and it's something I prayed through college. I believe that's why Ohio State, when they won that national championship run, I think it was amazing to see what those players were doing all offseason, being some leaders on campus, just the
Mhm.
spiritual leaders on campus. And I think that transformed the culture. And I think it's kind of cool when people are starting to come to me like, it's crazy to see how much you grew. And like, it had to be God, because I remember back then, boom, boom, boom. I remember back then, boom, boom, boom. Things that I can't recall that other people are like, I've seen it. That's
Mhm.
truly all God, because I've seen when it was just you, PJ.
Mhm.
I've seen when
Yeah.
it was just you. So, I mean, I think that's the cool thing, is that when you really just start to lean on God and you think about all the things that He's done for people, it's one of those things where it's like, mindset I've always had is that there's somebody that's going to be the All American, the first round pick, the Pro Bowl starter, first team All Pro, second team All Pro. That's somebody's going to get it.
Mhm.
Why can't it be you? So I've had the
Mhm.
mindset, God, allow me to achieve everything that you want me to achieve, to give you the glory, not use it for myself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because
I do. I do. I
so
think there's more. I think there's more to it, bro. I think you got more to your story. And I'm telling you, dig deep, dig deeper, because there's more. There's you got more to it. You're only scraping the surface of how powerful you really are. There's more to it. And you gotta look in the mirror, and you gotta take that time for yourself, and you need to tap into it, because I can hear it in you. I can hear it in you, and you have a larger testimony that has to be shared because it's going to be a guiding light for somebody who needed it, and you are that type of person. I get that from you. So you need to take a, you know how Rafiki said to Simba,
Yeah,
look closer, look closer at your story, because your story is a powerful story, bro, and it needs to be told. We're gonna have to do another one. I'm gonna give you some time to reflect and think about how you're going to impact the world with your testimony as it applies to your spiritual beliefs, and how you choose to honor God. There's a more specific There's something more specific to it. I'm calling it right here. I'm calling it right now. I see it in your eyes. I see it in your smile, and I can hear it in the words that you're saying. That your impact is on the other side of you figuring out what the deeper part of that story is and that testimony that you had. Now, I just spoke a little prophecy over your life. Like, this is a prophetic word for you, because I see it. I see it in you. And maybe it was put in me to see it in you, to tell you that I see it in you, to challenge yourself just as much as you're challenging yourself when you're in the trenches out there. And maybe that's what it's called. PJ in the trenches. You dig? Like, come on, man. Sometimes you gotta get in the trenches to make a change, and sometimes you gotta get in the trenches to make a change for somebody else other than yourself. I see that in you. Just figure I'd give you that, man.
appreciate.
Last word. You got the last word. What did I miss? Something that people need to know about Paris Johnson of the Arizona Cardinals, offensive lineman extraordinaire, came from Ohio State University. Last word. You got the last word.
So my mom and I, when I was in high school, we started our own non-profit
Yep.
to give back to people, and what our so basically what the core values of the foundation, we um we want to give back to vets
Okay. Love that.
who are homeless.
Yep.
So right now, our goal right now is we're trying to raise money to partner.
Bro, why you ain't say that earlier, man? I just asked you about your bigger purpose, bro. Why you ain't say it earlier?
I know. That's on me. That's on me. That's
All
on
right.
me.
So you
Um,
you support the vets.
yeah, me and my mom, we support the vets who are homeless, who are disabled, whether that's them needing some money for care,
Yep.
or whether we're trying to do housing. Like so the goal is to have it done. I mean, the goal is to have the first large drive here in Arizona. We're going to partner with Kurt Warner
Okay.
out here, and he's
Yep.
done a phenomenal job in the community. And obviously, he's a legend for Cardinals.
Mhm.
So the opportunity to build that relationship with him and the
Well,
partner with him to help the kids.
He's a Rams legend, but y'all had him for a minute, but all right, go ahead. I mean, he did take y'all to a Super Bowl. But all right, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm with you.
So I feel like something that's been taught to me by my mom is that like Jesus, he laid down the ultimate um, thing for our life by giving
Yeah.
himself up
His
for
own
us.
life.
And I feel like number two to me is anybody who serves. You know what I mean? I think that's the next step, are those who serve, because they're serving out there, and who people who don't know you or I, but they're out there so we can be able to be here on this
That's right.
show, to speak, to go to sleep with peace of mind.
That's right.
I feel like to be able to give back to those who decide to come back and they don't have anything, to me is just crazy. So I
Hmm.
feel like to us to be able to use the connections and the resources that we have to bring the standard up of what it means to come back as a vet. I feel like we have to take care of that, and if the services that we have as a country aren't going to make that enough, then I feel like it's on us, people. As much as we talk about, as much as we say we support it, I think we need to start to do something about it. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Because there's no
I
reason
hear you.
why you have an awesome NFL career. and you get to stay home with your kids, your grandkids, and you've set up something where your wealth lasts a lifetimes. And when there's somebody out there in a whole other country, or they're serving here at home, and they're starting to risk their life, and when they're done with their career, they don't have anything to show for it. So I don't think like the balance is there. So I mean that's a key
I
thing,
love that.
foundation.
Yeah.
To support all other things too, like things that don't is where there's not only just with the veterans, or not only with sports, but like people where there's like case to case scenarios. If there's
Mm-hmm.
something that's going on, we're jumping on it. Whether it's a water drive out here in
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, we have a
Mm-hmm.
drive that we do in Columbus, Ohio. Those
That's beautiful, bro.
that we like to get into. Any way we can help out. If people start to send it our way, where there was
Yeah.
some issues going on to spark ideas, then the team, we like to jump on it.
Any way I could ever assist or help, you got my support. I am too a supporter of our vets. I am the son of a wounded warrior vet, lost both his legs in Vietnam. It's very, very passionate belief I have in supporting our vets. So if there's any way I could ever assist you, don't hesitate to reach out, my guy.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Everybody, Paris Johnson, you know who he is, the big dog out there in Arizona. I'm a fan. I knew who you were because obviously I watched Penn State for many, many years, and I have to go through the pain of watching them play against y'all. So I know who you are. In fact, I believe I've seen you in person play before as well, in the horseshoe. In fact, anyway, I do wish you well, bro, and I'm so glad you came on. You're actually my first active player that I interviewed on the show, so I appreciate you making the time to come on and chop it up with us and talk to us. I think there's another aspect of you to your testimony, though. I like where you're at, but there's something more you need to dig for it because it's going to be your greatest masterpiece of what you accomplish in your life if you pinpoint what it is. But it's there. It's something bigger for you that's ahead of you. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep trusting that word and keep your steps, measured, 1 foot at a time, right in front of you, my guy. 10 toes down. Do what you need to do, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Man, hey man, I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
That's Paris Johnson. Yes, sir. Hey, listen, dope dude, man. And I'll tell you what, the more you learn about players and former players and coaches and former coaches, you start to realize that there's this common theme that exists amongst all of us. And it's that will to compete. It's that overwhelming feeling of community and love and belief in others that can impact your life and impact the quality of moments that you have in your life, wanting to give back, being people of service. Like we truly are some pretty phenomenal people, and just having the opportunity to talk to so many guys and then having the opportunity to talk to Paris today and hearing what he had to say and his strong beliefs and where that comes from. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode because I truly did. And I do believe he has something there. There's something deeper there for him. And I hope he finds out about it. And I hope I'm alive. And I hope he comes around to tell me about it when it happens. I'm LaVar Arrington. This is Good in the Game. Till next time, we'll talk.